Good evening. Thanks for taking the time to join us again. I'm really excited to be able to talk today about the developing willpower and discipline on the course of actions to building a better 2020. Willpower and discipline are huge. There's so many good ideas out there, and everyone's coming up with these goals and dreams, but very few people realize it. And often it comes down to willpower and discipline. If you don't have the willpower and discipline to put your dreams into action, to take the steps that's necessary to get there, you'll never get there. And most people in our society are just floating around, um, doing the first thing that is in front of them and not taking responsibility to plan their life. And so they just end up wherever life takes them. And it's often not planned, or unfortunately, it's often the case that people who don't plan for themselves, who don't make goals for themselves, end up becoming part of other people's plans and goals. And so you're helping other people on their life dream, but you're not building your own. And in order to remedy this, in my opinion, the strongest step that you can take, the most powerful technique that you can use, is developing a morning routine. A morning routine is something that you do every day after you wake up, and is when it's designed intentionally, it's something that is there to move you forward in the direction that you want to take with your life. Morning routines are powerful because pretty much everybody has one, whether they know it or not. People tend to do the same thing every day when they wake up because it's part of the part of the day where um, there hasn't been time to take us off track. So you can really consistently do the same thing. Um, it's usually a time in the day when people have a little extra free time. So you may be working full time or have family obligations, but usually you can take at least a little time in the morning to set aside for yourself. And it's the best time if you get up early. It's a time when you have many people are not awake, and so you have quiet and you have the space for self-reflection. It's fairly popular now on the internet and with self-help gurus to take a look at what people who have been successful are using for their morning routine. And it comes in a wide variety of, you see a wide variety of tastes even among similar types of people. So if you just look at, self-made billionaires, in kind of the tech industry, you have, people like Elon Musk on the one end who will get up early and he works constantly and is well known for sleeping under his desk. People like Tim Cook who get up at 3:45 every day, and on the other end you have people like Jeff Bezos, self-made millionaire and founder of Amazon, who gets a tremendous amount done through his day, but he doesn't set an alarm. He wakes up naturally, and he generally doesn't take meetings in the morning at all. And a lot of his early morning time is not about work. It's set aside to be with his family and for relaxing, drinking a cup of coffee, reading the newspaper, and things like that. So there's a big discrepancy. And what the takeaway from that is the most important is that you need to find a morning routine that works for you. And we can get into the hundreds of other well-documented famous people, from actors to uh, athletes to other business people, and what their morning routines are. But in essence, it boils down to what can you do to help yourself in a unique position. And very likely, a good morning routine for you now may not be a good morning routine for you in the future. So you're going to need to be constantly updating this routine and um, adapting it to your current needs. And when you achieve a goal, you'll need to transform the morning routines that you're using that got you there into even better ones to get you to the next step of the goal. So what are possibilities that we could use for a morning routine? Well, it comes down to a lot of time. you know when I talk about morning routines with people, the most common complaint I hear is, well, I just don't have the time to do anything in the morning. And that really isn't correct, because usually morning is bracketed by sleeping and then by whatever else you have to do. Now, if it's true that you are not getting enough sleep and you don't have any time in the morning that you have control over, and your whole day is booked, then you probably have a bigger problem that needs to be addressed first. I've talked about this in previous days' talks, so if you are interested, go back and check those out. But you need to have the ability to take some time for yourself. If you have zero, absolutely zero time that you have any control over what's going on, it's all dictated to you by work or family or whatever it is, that's a huge problem that needs to be addressed first. But most people don't have that problem. Most of the time you can take 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour in the morning. Maybe you get up a little earlier. Maybe, you go to bed a little earlier because of it, but it's there. And so I would start by carving out a bit of time. Don't go crazy. Don't if you're get up early already. Don't set your alarm 2 hours earlier or maybe even an hour earlier. Start with just a little extra time. Make sure it's something that is sustainable and that you can relatively easily keep up with. And once it's a habit, once it's something you're doing almost unconsciously or just by force of having done it for so many days in a row, then think about moving it a little back and a little back. Let's say you got 30 minutes. What could fit in there? Um, for me, the most important one that everybody should start with is at least a few minutes reviewing your goals and setting an intention for the day. I find that with many people and with myself in the past, that it's really easy to get up, uh, do whatever you have set aside, and then go from task to task to task and get to the end of the day. And yeah, you may have done a lot, but you haven't really worked towards your goals. You've just done things, right? Auxiliary things or busy work, but you haven't really pushed the ball forward at all. Or you may have pushed other people's balls forward, which is often what happens. But if you take the time in the morning, just a few minutes to review written goals or say a mantra or say your intentions for yourself, or even just review a dream board or pictures that you have set aside that get your mind in the right place, then you can start from a place of power and say, okay, yes, I got to do this today, but make sure I get what I need to get done in there as well. Another thing is meditation. Meditation is self training, training the brain to be more effective. It helps with so many psychological conditions and it helps with that kind of anxiety that people tend to have in modern times or a little bit of overactiveness. So if you have no other time throughout the day where you're doing meditation, the morning is a great time. And even 5 to 10 minutes of meditation, which doesn't have to be loud, so you're not going to disturb, family members or loved ones. In fact, it shouldn't be loud, and it doesn't take much space, and you don't even have to have the light on. It's just something you can do. You can do it laying in bed. You can do it sitting up in bed or in the living room. It doesn't matter where you do it, really. It's just super easy to fit in and something that everybody should be doing as part of their daily maintenance routine. Now, if you got a little more time and you're somebody that is athletically inclined, then I would consider doing a certain amount of workout in the morning or some kind of exercise routine. Exercise is something that most people that I meet and many people in modern society do not get enough of. And it's not only a way of keeping the body physically fit, keeping it attractive, keeping it healthy, and increasing our longevity. It also increases our mental ability and our focus throughout the day. Even 30 minutes can have a huge impact uh, uh, on you throughout the day and cumulatively throughout your life. If you don't have 30 minutes, 20 minutes can do it. And for this, I love doing yoga. Yoga is, there's so many varieties out there, free on the internet. You don't have to pay for anything if you don't want to. You don't have to be super flexible or an expert at anything. It's just something that you can go online, follow, get a 15-minute one or a 20-minute beginner's one if you're a beginner, and just start. And adding this to day by day, you will see an impact, even if it's a short amount of time. Um, so that's a lot of what I do for my morning routines. But there's so much more out there that's a possibility. Um, Journaling techniques, self-development techniques, guided meditations as well. Um, so take the time to review your morning, not technique, but morning routine, and see, is there places that I can fill in? Am I doing one at all? And is this serving me and getting me to where I need to go? So I hope that helps you out. Check us out again tomorrow when we go into the next step of our 2020 Empowerment Countdown, how to attract love. So thanks for watching.